Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube pipe community, Lewis coming at you once again. How are you? How are you? Things have been crazy, always busy, around these parts. But a lot of moving parts going on. I am headed back to the east side of Kansas to go see my family in Atchison. And I have packed a big bowl of something to smoke and share my thoughts about with you. And that is, you probably already saw the picture, that is macbaren's Mixture Modern. This is some interesting stuff. It kind of took me by surprise. The first pipe that I smoked it in was my my Blue Room Briars Canadian, small bowl, pretty small, longer shank, very lightweight, and it kicked me in the face in the best way. I think it wasn't harsh. It just surprised me. So what I'm going to do now, I'm in line to get some food for my way home. I'm going to skip to this other part that I already recorded where I read you what the tin says, the tin description as it were. And then I'm going to light up and give you my thoughts. Sound good? Sounds good. All right. See you in a minute. Well, okay. This is the part where I read you what the back of the tin says. Now, again, this is from 2006. It's Mixture Modern, loose cut Virginia tobaccos, the macbaren Modern Cavendish, and just a little ready rubbed burley are what you will find in this blend. Because we have chosen some very special tobaccos, this blend doesn't. Because we have chosen some very special tobaccos, this blend does not bite your tongue. The taste and aroma show that Mixture Modern belongs to the macbaren mixture family. Getting started with an exceptionally tender and pleasant smoking experience, we highly recommend this blend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Now, my thoughts on this. I'm wearing a beanie, okay? Unrelated, I'm wearing a beanie, I'm wearing my hoodie here because my wife doesn't like me showing up smelling like smoke. So I'm gonna throw this stuff in the back of my truck once I get to where I'm going. But let's start from the beginning. If the size of my bowl is any indication as to how much I actually like this pipe tobacco, I like it a lot. Now, granted, I have a 2-hour drive, so this is pretty appropriate. Let's start with the tin note. Now, this, and I apologize for the wind noise, but I gotta crack the window open a little bit. This is from 2006. This was gifted to me at the Kansas City Pipe Show from Sue Dunhill. And I've been playing with this tobacco ever since trying it the first time. This has been an awesome tobacco to kind of wrap my head around and try in different pipes and see if I can understand it. It is dry. It's very dry at this point. But I don't think that's affected the flavor all that much. The tin note you get your basic Virginia tobacco and Cavendish type flavors. You know, grassiness and all that. But the Virginias, you do smell that kind of plummy, raisiny goodness that you come to expect from a decent Virginia. I have a feeling that this is going to be difficult to keep lit. Anyway, we get that kind of thing, but it doesn't necessarily translate to the smoke. You get the hay-like characteristic of the tobaccos. It's very quality tobacco, but that plumminess, the raisininess, does not translate. Interestingly enough, though, it's sweet, but it's a sugary sweet, like cane sugar, simple syrup, something like that. The topping on it is present in the flavor more than most other flavored aromatics, like a peach aromatic, cherry, whatever. It's actually in the flavor of the smoke. I was super taken aback when I first smoked this. My pipe went out, so I'll just talk. I was super taken aback because ultimately I got hit with this really thick plume, a mouth coating of this sweetness, this kind of saccharine sweetness, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, and it caught me off guard because I'd never experienced that in a pipe tobacco before. And the tobacco tastes themselves also translate through very well, but that sweetness, that just cane sugar type of sweetness, I'd never experienced before, especially something that coated my mouth the way it did. That mouthfeel is super important in this tobacco. Now, as dry as it is, it does smoke a little hot, which I've noticed. Now, if I had a fresh tin, you know, I might be able to do a comparison and say that it's, you know, the fresh version will be great in any pipe. But as dry as this is, I tried it in a Morgan nose warmer, Missouri Meerschaum corn cob. I tried it in my Chris Morgan Bones bent brandy, and I don't know if the size of the bowl itself has anything to do with it. I feel like this tobacco likes a slimmer bowl, but what it most definitely likes is a longer shank. At least for me, that's where I get more of that sweetness, more of that a more balanced taste, simply because I assume because the smoke has a little bit more of a chance to cool down. The room note is good. It's strictly a tobacco room note. It's not Latakia. It's not too overly harsh. It's very pleasant. I enjoy it quite a bit. And honestly enough to smoke this much worth. And if you've been listening to me for any extent of time, you understand that I generally don't smoke pipes with a very big bowl. I don't have the time for it normally. Usually I pack, you know, if I'm going on a drive, I'll pack 2 pipes with, excuse me, I'm gonna adjust this really quick. Usually I'll take 2 pipes with 2 different blends just to kind of vary things up a bit. But I like this so much that I am happy to smoke a big bowl of it. because it's so dry, you can't really compress it. You kind of have to gravity fill it and be very careful about how you tamp it. But that's not to say that every tin is going to be like that. Just this tin is dry. That being said, it still smokes really, really well. Gosh, what else do I say about this mixture modern? It's just quality tobacco. It can bite. It certainly can, but that's when your long shank pipes really come into play, and all the experience that you develop in developing a cadence and puffing slowly and really slowly sipping and enjoying the sweetness in this pipe tobacco really comes into play. It is really good stuff. I think that's all I got, really, when it comes down to it. I am not the best reviewer, but I wanted to give you my experience anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get back to smoking this pipe since it's going to get a little loud in here. And I hope you all have an incredible weekend, and very many blessings and smoke rings to you. Ciao.